she whispered, her whiskers twitching with excitement.
And here we go. We have a bedtime story generated completely with AI and MCP. Hello, AI Wizard here. Do you guys have a need to tell a bedtime story to your kids, to your pets? However, sometimes you're running late from work or you have to do some house chores like do the dishes. I certainly do have this problem. I certainly do have this need. My pets cannot sleep without me telling them some story. So today we are going to help you to create an assistant AI agent that will tell the story to your kids, help you to create nice stories that you can use to put your kids or pets to sleep. Now, we're going to use ElevenLabs as our audio model, and we're going to use MCP connection with Claude Desktop AI to actually use it to tell the stories. First thing, we're going to go to ElevenLabs MCP server setup, and we are going to use our usual setup process. Now, I think you guys already watched our previous video, so you have done some necessary setup that is required before we can continue with this guide. However, if you haven't done so, the video will show up somewhere here. You'll be able to find it. You can watch our previous video. You can actually go through the initial setup. I'm just going to assume that you have already done that, and we're going to continue with ElevenLabs specific setup. The link for this guide will be also available under the description of this video. Now, we're going to copy this specific part. So under MCP servers, within these brackets, oops, I made a mistake. We're going to copy this specific part. So there will be two brackets left on the bottom. So we're just going to copy this. And we are going to open our Claude desktop. So I'm going to press Command Space to open command line, type Claude, and I'm going to open Claude.app. Once we open our Claude application, we're going to click here, go to the settings, click on developer settings, and click on edit config. This will point us to the file where we can actually paste the content that we copied earlier. So we can open it with any text editor that you have. On Mac, that would be TextEdit. So now I can just paste the content that I copied earlier. I'm going to press Command V to do that. Then I'm going to press Command S to actually save the file. You can also click on the file button here and click on save. Once you do that, there is something that we actually have to insert. So here it says insert your API key here. So API key here means that it's some kind of credentials that will authenticate us with ElevenLabs. So how are we going to get that? First of all, create your free account on ElevenLabs. So we're going to go back to ElevenLabs website, which is elevenlabs.io. The link will be in the description. Once you sign up, you can just use Google to sign up, or if you prefer email, you can do that. Once you sign up, you will essentially meet this screen. Now, what are we going to do here? We are going to click on our profile page here, and here we will see something called API keys. We are going to click on that. Once we do that, we'll be able to create our API key, our credential. So we're going to click on Create API Key. Then we can just name it the way we want. We don't have to mess with anything here, and we can just click on Create. Once we do that, we will get the API key that we need to copy. Make sure you copy it because you will not be able to see this later, as you can see here. So I'm just going to copy this API key and close this window. Then I'm going to go back to my text edit and replace everything inside double quotes with my API key. That's it. We're going to press Command S or File, Save in order to save this file. After that, we need to relaunch our Claude desktop application. So we're going to fully close it, which means we're going to navigate to the bar here, right click on it and click on Quit. Now we can restart the Claude application. So how we're going to do that? Command Space, type Claude, and this way we can open it very quickly. Now, the only thing that you need to do is to prompt Claude to actually create a story for you. So in my case, I just asked it to create a story that I could play to my kids. I didn't specify any specific story. And then I asked for the voice that is closest to Cinderella. And I told it that the short story is fine. Now it did a bunch of things here. And eventually it just told me that there is a file that has been saved on my desktop. So I'm going to go to my desktop and try to play that sound now. So I am on my desktop right now, so let's just play this story and see how it sounds.
Once upon a time, in a forest of whispering trees, there lived a little rabbit named Lily. Lily had soft white fur and the brightest pink nose in all the woodland. One morning, as golden sunlight danced through the leaves, Lily discovered something magical, a tiny silver key glimmering beside her burrow. "I wonder what this opens," she whispered, her whiskers twitching with excitement.
And here we go. We have a bedtime story generated completely with AI and MCP. This is something that I could fall asleep myself to. This is something that will help parents. This is something that will help your kids. This is something that will help your pets. Thank you everyone. Bye bye and good night.